Okay, if this reading is finding you right now, stick around because there is absolutely a message for you, and this one is really pretty amazing. So you will know if this is for you. It will deeply resonate. But what I'm hearing right now is that you, at the bottom, like the whole foundation of this reading, I have amethyst coming out here. It says, you are in a vortex of deep transformation. Surrender to the process that's unfolding. And the message 101, as I'm saying that, for confirmation. And the message that I'm hearing right now, or that I'm really, really feeling, is that you are someone who has pretty recently made the clear decision to I'm seeing, there are no squirrels here, but I'm seeing squirrels in my mind's eye right now. That's why I just did a double take. Squirrels, one thing that squirrels do is, first of all, they what's the word? Like, whatever, hold on to their nuts. Like they stock up, for seasons ahead. What's the word? Hoard? Whatever that word is. Okay, someone will have to help me out here. But they prepare all their nuts for the time ahead. And so I'm thinking that you've been in a little bit of like a hibernation mode and a hermit mode, I'm hearing. Perhaps struggling with the underground, the dark realms, the shadow work that you've had to do. And through this darkness, very much like a cocoon, like a true metamorphosis, through this darkness, you have been able to clearly define what joy means for you. And you have decided or made the decision, whether, actually consciously or perhaps it was a bit more subconsciously, but you've made this decision. You've probably just taken, or you're just about to, literally right now as you're watching this video, take a first step toward living that life of joy. So no more living kind of a mundane life, no more living a life that was not meant for you. This is yes, you're saying yes to life. You have decided and realized and recognized that joy literally is your purpose. It's all of our purposes. When we are, and I don't mean like checking out of life, chilling kind of a joy, because that's escapism. I mean doing something that lights you up. And if you're watching this reading right now, you know exactly what I mean when I say joy. You are not a person who bypasses anything in life. You are a person who has recognized true, deep joy, like layered joy. The kind of joy like, I'll give you an example. I remember I was actually driving through this toll, and I was listening to something by Wayne Dyer, and I don't know why this example is coming out of me, but maybe it's a message for someone. But I remember he was talking about something that he did, which is to pay for the toll of the person right behind you. And this was not the most abundant time in my life, but the idea of someone doing that for me, like me, crossing, oh, sorry, I realize I did bring my tripod this time, but it's on a table that's shaky, so we're gonna get there with the videos here. But the idea of me about to pay a toll as I'm driving through, sorry, these messages are coming in very quickly. I need to just take a breath here. The idea of me driving through and someone saying, oh, that car in front of you, rolling down the window, and the attendant telling me that the person in front of me has just surprised me and paid my toll. The idea of feeling like so special and magical and that miraculous energy was so exciting. And so I was like, okay, this was not the most abundant time in my life. To be honest, even though the toll was $11, it was like, maybe next time. But I decided to do it. And you guys, the thrill I felt, the joy I felt, the connection I felt with this stranger who I knew that I would never meet, because by the time like that person drove on, I would already be off, right? Because they were behind me. And I would never get to see their reaction, but I just knew that, you know, when I prayed, I asked God to select the perfect person to be behind me when I did this, the person who really needed it that day. So I'm talking about that kind of joy. I'm talking about the deep sense of joy that we feel when we are of service, that we feel when we live a life of purpose, that we feel when we give to others, when we are dedicated and devoted to being a source of light and love in this world. So that's the kind of joy that you have absolutely been tapping into and been dedicated to cultivating in your life. And your angels right now, I mean, there is nothing that brings, I think, for me at least, nothing that brings me closer to God, to the holiest, most divine, unconditional love and light, that which I call God, that which I call angels or angelic energy, that pureness, that purity. There's nothing that brings me closer to that than being of service to a complete stranger. Like that, you know, just no expectations. I'll never, you know, I know, like this is pure loving kindness. And this is something that you have recently realized for yourself as well, or you are realizing it now. And because of that, the circumstances in your life are changing, because that is such a high frequency. That is such a high vibrational energy. That is devotion, that is service, that is unconditional love without expecting anything in return. And truly that is one of the greatest, highest vibrational energies that you can be in. And so because of this, interestingly, you've probably had a lot that has fallen away, because I think that was like a confirmation hiccup. I don't know what that was. But I think I just started a new thing. Did I? I don't know. Maybe. I'm sure I'm not the only one. Has anyone ever gotten a confirmation hiccup? That was kind of cool. Wow. Oh my gosh, the cutest bird just flew by me. Okay, that was definitely a confirmation hiccup. Okay. So that was the lovely part of the message. Just need to get into this next part a little bit. Bear with me here. I'm not going to harper on this. Harper Collins. Anyone want to be a publisher here? That could be significant for somebody. Maybe you guys have been journaling, doing like shadow work journals. That could be significant. If so, your angels are saying keep doing that. If not, and that is something that you are feeling called to do, your angels are saying start doing that. But whatever it is, you have gone into the depths. I'm seeing literally a person, like a Mark Twain kind of a vibe, where you're in a cottage or like a little house in the woods, and you're just writing and writing and writing and writing, and you're just doing the deep inner work. This is dark. This is you're looking in all the nooks and crannies and crevices. This is powerful, hard inner work. This is real inner work. 9/11, as I was saying that, for me 9/11 is a total confirmation. Actually, anything with 11 is like whoop, right up there from us to source. So total confirmation for me right there. This is you've been doing the work, you've been listening to your intuition, and right now you are probably in a little bit of the I think it's called the massa confusa, like in Latin. That was not English, obviously, but it's like the chaos that like the world was birthed out of. You know, the going back to the card that we got at the bottom of the deck here, Amethyst. This is the cocoon energy. This is the cocoon energy. You might, I'm hearing, I have to say this, but you might literally have been like really hungry. Just like, it's almost like you're experiencing a growth spurt. So all the symptoms that would come to that. And hunger, yes, of course, I'm talking about food and the things that you input in your body. But another type of hunger is this yearning, this desire for more, this just like hunger for more. And you might have really been feeling that very, very, very strongly. You probably are actually feeling that right now, or it's like a very recent past. And you might have been experiencing some tower moments, some like deep breakdown. Things got real messy. Everything was like, you know, total like tornado, hurricane kind of a just mess, chaos. And right now, you guys, literally right now, you are like on the precipice. You are at the moment where all of this chaos, all of this mess is about to like, I thought that was gonna be really dramatic. I thought the wind was gonna work with me. My hair would be like, did you just hear that? I don't know what was happening there, some sort of construction. I hope that was like heard on camera. It was like something that was like the sound effect I was looking for this whole time. A little louder, guys. It was like, and the reason I want this, I think the reason that I'm feeling that I want this to be so dramatic, like it's not that I need sound effects for these videos, I'm just like literally talking to you guys. But I feel like this is a dramatic rebirth coming up right now, and that's what the universe wants you to feel. Like this is like your moment. This is like the big oof. Like this is when you go from kind of not knowing if anything's going to come out of all of this work, right? Because when we go into the inner work, like of course we're told, you know, we have this inkling that that there's more, right? The hunger that I was speaking about, that's there, and that's kind of the reason we start poking around and digging around. If we didn't have that, we would not start looking at the depths of our soul, because that's a very, very uncomfortable process. But I don't think that anyone actually knows what's on the other side of that inner work. And so right now it's almost like this, I'm seeing like a big reveal, like curtains being opened, or you know, like when you're at a restaurant and they bring you your dish and it comes with like, what are those called, like a cloche? I hope that's the right word. That'd be so embarrassing if it wasn't. If not, then what is a cloche? It's totally a cloche. Une cloche. I'm Canadian, so I know a little French. Une cloche. But it's like they have this thing, right? And they lift it up and they're like, boom. And it's like the whole big reveal, like, you know, I actually went to a restaurant once in Portugal where there was like smoke under there. And I was like, ah! Like, I was so excited and so happy. This is your moment. You are about to lift that up and see the masterpiece that has been on the other side of all your deep inner work. And your angels are just telling you to stay present right now, continue learning from your current situation, and don't focus too much on the outcome, but also know in complete eagerness, in complete worthiness, in complete and utter excitement, that baby, there's something blossoming on the other side for you, and you are very, very, very close. Keep going. And you know, I actually don't even feel like I have to say that for this collective message, because I feel like you're at the point where there's no turning back. You're in it. You're doing the work. You've been doing the work. You've already seen some of the benefits. You've already just so, with so much conviction, you've chosen that joy. And right now, I think what I'm seeing is on the other side of this. And I know we said we wouldn't like harp on that for too long. And of course, what that actually means and looks like to you specifically is going to be very personal and very different for everyone. But on the other side of that, I'm seeing Azrael. Archangel Azrael, okay? This card says transcendence. Like, how beautiful is that progression? We go from metamorphosis to transcendence, transcending whatever it was that we were, that was in that cocoon, whatever it was. I was gonna say Cancun, maybe a message for me. I'm in Cancun right now. But whatever it was, that that shadow work, those dirty, messy, chaotic aspects that you've been like doing the work to move through, that is now being transcended by you, and you are being called to share your story, to help others. This is where we're coming back to living a life of service and giving. This is the greatest joy that you can give to another right now, is to help perhaps someone else, or maybe you're looking to, like, really, maybe you are a teacher or a coach, maybe you have a social media channel, maybe you're an intuitive or reader yourself, but this is where you are meant to own your story, to share your story, to, when you transcend something, you're on the other side of it, and you are being asked now to help others overcome their story as well, or whatever their story they're hanging on to right now, the one that you've let go of, and step into their new timeline and step into their new story. And this beautiful card, oh my gosh, I love it so much. And look, I love how much kindness and gentleness, that's what really is standing out to me, are in the eyes of this Archangel, of Archangel Azrael right now. I feel calm, I feel at peace when I hold and look at this card. And Archangel Azrael is the angel who escorts those who are crossing over to heaven and helps us with the transition process of when we pass away, when we move to, go back into our soul state. But more than that, like, yes, that's what Azrael is like most well known for. But Azrael helps us get through any transition in our lives, even starting a new job or a new habit, or, I think in our case, it's more of like this big metamorphosis, this decision for joy. Azrael literally takes us and carries us with so much grace and gentleness and kindness. It's almost like that energy of like, don't worry, sweetie, it will be okay. At least that's what I feel. And I think you could even see, if you're like feeling my energy right now, I just feel like I just got really floaty. I just got really calm. I just got really reassured. Before I was like, blah, and now it was like, And so that's the energy of Azrael. And that's where we are heading. If you're not already there, that is so available to you right now. And that is actually the point of everything, all of this that you've been through, all the shadowy aspects and the shadowy parts. That's what it's been for, is to transcend what previously held you back. Confirmation hiccups. I don't know what is happening here, but there's a lot. I'm like and Azrael, in addition to that, is also kind of the archangel who can help us build and maintain a bridge to heaven. So if you have someone who's crossed over, and it was 1911, so again, we have that 9/11, 9/11, just as I was saying, that energy, like I said, 1/1, like the two pillars up from here to source. But Azrael, so if you do have someone who has crossed over, or just loved ones in heaven, or even saints or masters or deities or angels, archangels that you have been trying to connect with, Azrael helps us build that bridge from this world up to the divine realms. And this is very much a message for me about resurrection, about resurrecting old parts of you, and about stepping into that new timeline, that new life. And what a perfect time, just before Easter. So if this is finding you right now, and of course this message is timeless, However, especially if you're watching this around the time of Easter or just any sort of, maybe New Year or that kind of thing, know that renewal is in store for you. Know that resurrection is truly the energy that you're giving off right now, and that your life, the situations that you've been putting the work in, the shadow work that you've been doing, all of this is now being resurrected due to the work that you've put in. So take that leap, stay with it. And I think let's pray. Let's pray. Archangel Azrael, thank you for helping us build a bridge. A bridge might be from our current lives to the lives that we are seeking, to a life of joy that we've committed to. It might be from this realm to the divine realms. It might be from this world to heaven where our loved ones are, or any other bridge that we desire at this moment. We ask Archangel Azrael, and we thank you for helping us to create that bridge, and for supporting us and holding us in grace, with gentleness, with reassurance as we cross that bridge, as we step on and walk on that bridge. We thank you, Archangel Azrael, for safely guiding us through whatever transitions we are going through right now, so that we may transcend previous limitations and step into our new timeline, our new life, our new reality, and connect with higher realms for guidance, for support, and ultimately for safety, security, and love throughout the entire process of transcendence. Yeah. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Amen. And so it is. It is done. Bye, guys. See you next time.